Hello YouTube. So I'm back again with another live stream. I'm actually on the road. It's kind of a longer trip, probably like another 30 minutes or so, because I decided to record this video after I started. So it could have been like an hour. Hopefully I could possibly stay in the video for the entire trip. I'm going to be looking at the road most of the time, guys, because I can't really focus on the video, which is okay, I guess, because I'm just talking about I'm going to be talking about narcissists in workplaces, and probably going to talk a bit about my projects. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I have to make sure that I don't meet into an accident or anything. I might kind of move my phone around a bit. So yeah, what I wanted to talk about first is destiny swapping, how the narcissists or these narcissistic organizations destiny swap with employees. A lot of people don't know how it works because they might be young. They don't understand certain things or whatever, but the way that they destiny swap is, a destiny swap is basically them, the narcissist, taking your good blessings basically, and you taking their bad blessings. So it is not impossible for individuals to do this, or organizations. For example, Jacob stole Esau's birthright or whatever in the Bible, and then you could also read about Esau trying to get back his birthright. He said that he tried to get it back. You read about Isaiah, I think is it Isaiah or something, and Ishmael. Can't remember the name of that guy. Jacob's son, or son, not Jacob's son, Jacob's father. Basically, destiny is real, and destiny swapping is real. So the way they do it is because it's all spiritual energy. So it might not necessarily be like a destiny where it's your entire destiny, like your God-given destiny that you have to accomplish through like the millennium or whatever. But it is your spiritual energy that they basically take from you and they use it for their own benefits, and they don't give you any compensation for it. For example, the way they would do it is they might give you food, they might give you gifts and stuff when you get a new job, which when you read in the Bible, it talks about people not taking gifts or giving gifts. It also talks about tithes, giving tithes and different things in the Bible. So what these narcissists have been doing is they've been basically bribing people out of their destinies by giving them gifts and stuff at workplace. Like they might give you a raise, or they might give you a cup or some sort of physical thing, a shirt. Like a lot of times these people give you clothes and stuff. Like it's all because they're trying to steal your destiny. When you read in the Bible, it tells you about Elijah and he had this assistant, and then the king or the general of one of the enemies wanted to give him some gifts, and he decided that he didn't want it because this person was trying to destiny swap with him. And then the guy went and took the gifts, and he also got cursed. The other guy, Elijah's assistant, went and took the gifts, and he got cursed because of it. So these narcissists, they know, and they've been giving people gifts and all this other stuff because they're trying to basically destroy you and stuff. Because God doesn't want you to take the gifts from them and stuff. You know, God doesn't want you to take anything from them because they're all narcissists. They're all demons, basically. Like, why you want to take something from a demon? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So these narcissists, they know that, and that's why they constantly give you stuff. They want even to buy you lunch and all different sort of stuff because they're trying to destiny swap with you. So another thing they do is that the way the narcissistic abusive cycle works, they have this thing they call a narcissistic abusive cycle, and it includes the discard, which is when they basically kick you out, they fire you, they make you become homeless, all this other stuff they do to you. They call that the discard. So in the discard, they have to get a new person, and the new person didn't know that you went through all of that in the company when you were there. So what they would do is they would present themselves as an idealized image, which is the first phase. They're going to go back to the same thing again with another person. After they abused another person and caused them to become homeless, devalued them, intimidated them, triangulated them, assaulted them, all kind of different things these narcissists do. They might have even killed the person and buried them. Then they get a totally new person and start acting like they're the best thing in the world. They're basically stealing the good person's essence, the one they killed, and basically using that person's essence as a new image for themselves. And the new person doesn't know. So basically destiny swapped with that person. So this is what these narcissists do in these workplaces. They basically destiny swap with you. It's not even a joke. They literally do it. So they're able to make the company continue for a long time because they're always getting new people. So that's how they're able to do it, because the energy that the new person brings is able to basically cause them to continue for another period. So one person could be there like for a year, 2 years, and then another person comes after that. So they basically steal each of these destinies and they continuously build out. It's like a cycle, like a loop that they do, but it's looping like a chain. So they would build one chain and then they build the next chain, and then they're never out of supply. They're never out of energy. That's how they do it. And meanwhile, these people are literally destroying the people they get, the new employees they get in these narcissistic organizations and stuff. Like, it's really bad. Like, it's spiritually bad to a point where I can't even really explain to you guys how bad it is. It's basically on the level of Sodom and Gomorrah bad. It's on the level of Sodom and Gomorrah bad, what these narcissists have been doing. And they've been doing this for years, like a long time. These narcissists, they've totally corrupted everything they've touched. It's like they're literally like possessed by demons or whatever, so they don't have any empathy. So they can't, like, for example, they might get a new person. So in a narcissist's head, a new person is like a new baby. And it's weird the way they do it. I was talking recently about how narcissists, this is another way they destiny swap with you. So for example, you might be new and the narcissist might treat you as insignificant because you're new, because they want to abuse you and stuff. They want to, so the way they would do that is they would say, okay, you're new, so you are the one that we're going to abuse because you're new. That doesn't make any logical sense. Why would you abuse a person because they're new? Like, that doesn't make any form of sense at all. But that is how the narcissist brain works. So in companies, it kind of makes sense in their brain, because they're like, okay, this person is new, they don't have any boundaries as yet or whatever, so we're gonna abuse them. Meanwhile, they have had like toxic stuff that's going on for years, so they attribute all of that toxicity to the new person, which temporarily hasn't been there at the extended time frame where all of this toxicity came from. So even if you're like 20 years old, they will still give you all of that toxic energy, because they don't have any empathy at all. They don't even think logically, so that's how they're able to abuse a new person, and all of the toxic energy already existed there, but they don't care about the fact that you didn't have anything to do with all of that toxic energy. They use the fact that you're new to make you the victim, because you have to prove yourself. You have to show that they're able. For example, a narcissist might want you to show them that you're able to drive or whatever, because they like, obviously, like, yeah, because of safety or whatever, you want to make sure somebody's able to drive. But in a narcissist's brain, they would, because narcissists like to use cars and stuff also as a form of abusive instrument. So they might like try to act like, oh yeah, you have to prove that you literally know how to drive, or you have to do this. Like, they're basically their driving school or some shit. So that's how they try to intimidate and harass you, so that you supposedly have to prove yourself when you're new, which is obviously toxic, as I said. This is all narcissistic. This is how these narcissist brain works, because they don't care about you. They don't care anything about anybody, And what they would do is they would try to destiny swap with you. So the way they do it is they abuse you and they intimidate you and they make you get scared or feared or whatever. The Bible says God didn't give us a spirit of fear. So we could see that the spirit is not like what people think. What is a spirit? The spirit is the feeling. If you're scared, God said He didn't give you that spirit. That spirit came from the devil. So when you have a feeling or an emotion, that's a spirit. That's what a lot of people don't know. They think a spirit is some supernatural thing, but the Bible literally tells you God didn't give you the spirit of fear. He didn't give you the emotion of fear. So what the narcissist would do is they give you a lot of fear, and then basically they're able to abuse you and stuff after that. They're able to destiny swap with you. So when they abuse you and stuff, and you possibly could even die because of it, because the way it's really bad. This stuff could even cause you to die and stuff. What these narcissists do, because they're basically working witchcraft and stuff. It told that even Elijah, after witnessing God literally sending fire from heaven, and nobody has ever seen that. And even Elijah got scared. He almost died. Like, he was so exhausted. He literally was just laying on the floor and stuff, laying in the ground in the wilderness and stuff, just like in a cave or whatever. Because he was so scared, he was so drained, like his energy was sapped or whatever, because of these narcissists. Because the stuff they say and stuff, they would threaten you and say all kind of weird stuff to you to make you get scared and stuff. For example, with Elijah, they said they tricked him and said, "Oh, we're gonna kill you tomorrow," and stuff. He got scared, but they were just bluffing, That's how the narcissists, they're always trying to push fear and stuff. So basically, back to the destiny swapping. So they're able to destiny swap with you after they pump all of that fear in you. When you get scared or whatever, then they're able to actually destiny swap with you. They're able to take your destiny and give you the bad destiny. They might also change your paycheck, give you less money. One of the weirdest things that people don't realize with the devaluation, and the idealization phase, is that when you get into the job, they give you the actual 40 hours per week pay at whatever rate, and you always get it. It doesn't even matter in the first few weeks that there isn't any work or anything, but you see these big checks coming in. And then when they start in the discard, in the devaluation stage, they might start saying, "Oh, you have to make sure you work the actual 40 hours. We didn't have any work, so whatever." You start getting checks that are actually very, very different from the ones that you were getting when you just started. That's an example of devaluation, literally. So that's how they operate. It's basically they're bringing you through that demonic cycle. That it's really a very demonic cycle. It is a very dark cycle they bring you through, the narcissist abusive cycle. It is one of the most demonic things on the planet, and they're just so evil, these narcissists. So as I said, they also, they bring you through the entire cycle. And then the way they would do it is they would this guy is looking at me. I don't know what's going on. These narcissists, they want to intimidate you when they're driving and stuff. Doesn't even make, as I said, these people are all possessed by demons, so I don't even know what to say. But they've been intimidating people and trying to destiny swap with them, and basically these people are all possessed, as I said. What they're doing, intimidating, lies, manipulation, gaslighting, smear campaigns, is because they're trying to steal your destiny, and they know that it works, so these people are all like gonna be judged. It's like their current spiritual state is actually worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. It's worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. It's worse than Sodom and Gomorrah, because the stuff that they've been doing, all the lies, the manipulation, the smear campaigns, devaluation, intimidation, domination, control, all of it is very demonic, and God doesn't tolerate that stuff. These people, they are possessed, and they want to test your boundaries. They want to basically destiny swap with you, so they could steal your destiny and then cause you to become homeless, cause you to not have any money in the bank, cause you to go through a lot of stuff that people have talked about, adults have talked about. A lot of it starts happening to you when you're like 30 years old, based on what my experience was. But nobody tells you about it. No, we didn't get any teachings about this. They had like psychology, whatever, but they didn't teach you as a general course, because that's how people end up becoming victims of these people. Also, because the thing is, like, a lot of their family members are narcissists. Like multiple of my family members are narcissists. So, as I said, there isn't much we could do for these people. Only God is able to actually help them, because the reason why they ended up like this is, it's kind of weird. So they don't actually believe in God. Seems they only believe in other people, other human beings. So that's why they constantly want to get approval from other people, and they constantly try to control other people, instead of because they want to get a human being to do stuff for them or to be around them. They don't want to be around themselves at all, because they don't like to be around themselves. They like to be around other people, because when they're around themselves, they're around God, and that they don't want to be around God. So that's how they operate. So, as I said, these narcissists they're all crazy, and they're literally everywhere, and they lie, manipulate, they gaslight. For example, they might say something like they literally rewrite history, reality, and everything. Like you might literally see them do something, and they say they didn't do it. That's just how they are. Because they are the father of the devil, the father of lies. So they can't deal with anything to do with the truth. And they want you to get into problems with them, because they know that once you get into problems with them, then that means that God is going to abandon you. Because they want God to abandon you so that they could destroy you. Because if God is not there, then they could destroy you. But God is never really going to abandon you. So they trick you into believing that God has abandoned you and stuff. For example, if you're homeless, they might say, oh yeah, God has abandoned you. So now just continue down the path of destruction, because God has already abandoned. That's why you're homeless. That's the kind of stuff they say. Because they want you to, as I said, they want to destiny swap with you. It's been going on for years. These people have been destiny swapping with people for years, trying to steal people's destinies and stuff. It's really bad. It's really bad, like, especially in the workplace, being around these narcissists. It's actually really bad, because these people are all crazy. They're all crazy. They want to steal your destiny, steal your money, steal everything from you. They don't want you to have anything. Because they know that if you don't have anything, then basically that means that they could destiny swap with you. So that's how they operate. They know that if you don't have anything, they could destiny swap with you. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video to talk about the narcissists and their attempts to destiny swap with people, and how it's not even working. They want you to believe it's working so they could continue to twist reality and basically trick you into believing that they have actually destiny swapped with you. But they've not actually really destiny swapped with you. It's all a lie. They can't actually destiny swap with anybody. They don't know anything about destiny swapping. They just believe in lies and stuff. So that's what they do. They want to trick you into believing that they're actually able to do this stuff. But it's all a lie. They're not able to actually do anything. So that's the video, guys. I'm probably gonna make another video soon talking about this stuff.